Hello, this is Maria. Welcome back. So glad that you have a chance to join us. I would like to share something with you. Beneath the room of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the sword. What did you say? Beneath the rule of men entirely great. Like him. Beneath the rule of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the sword. What does that mean? It means that when you are around great individuals, your ideas are stronger, more powerful than any weapon. Particularly if you are in a debate, if you are engaged in a debate or discussion, the pen is mightier than the sword. And who said that famous phrase? Well, a very prolific writer, Edward Bulwer Lytton. Edward Bulwer Lytton, from England, born in 1803. What does prolific mean? It's a person who writes many works. If you write a lot of poems and novels and stories, you are a prolific writer. And renowned is if you are acknowledged and have won awards like the Nobel Prize. All right, so Edward Bulwer Lytton. Edward Bulwer Lytton, a writer from England, born in 1803. And that phrase, beneath the rule of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the sword, is in the famous novel entitled Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu, a cardinal, a clergyman, a person involved with the church. Cardinal Richelieu. The writer, Edward Bulwer Lytton, wrote about Cardinal Richelieu. Richelieu was from Paris. He was from Paris. And he ministered King Louis XIII. King Louis XIII of France. Not King Louis XIV with the Palace of Versailles and the Hall of Mirrors. We're talking about King Louis XIII. Yes. Cardinal Richelieu ministered King Louis XIII in Paris, France, right? Capital of France. Now, the writer Edward Bulwer Lytton, born in England in 1803, made that phrase very famous. Beneath the rule of great men, the pen is mightier than the sword. And I want us to remember that. If you can't remember beneath the rule of great men, then do remember the pen is mightier than the sword. Who said that? Edward Bulwer Lytton, from England. Edward Bulwer Lytton, Edward Bulwer Lytton, born in England in 1803. The pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. Edward Bulwer Lytton, Edward Bulwer Lytton, born in England in 1803. Born in England in 1803. The pen is mightier than the sword. So he was from England. And a prolific writer. He wrote many works. And one of those great works was called, what was it called again? Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu. A cardinal from France who ministered King Louis XIII. Now, I would like for you to write it down, and you can write a report about the writer Edward Bulwer Lytton. Edward Bulwer Lytton, born in England in 1803, and one of his famous works was called Cardinal, or entitled Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu, in which he penned that famous phrase, beneath the rule of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen turned into a play in 1839. The pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. It was published in 1839. And I think there's even a movie about it. Cardinal Richelieu. The pen is mightier than the sword. All right, we hope you enjoyed this class. And remember the great writer, Edward Bulwer Lytton.